All right, San Diego and Southern California. What's going on? Hour one, Jon and Jim. Busy first hour. We'll get you ready for the Padres and the Mets. Excuse me, the Padres and the Phillies. Grant Paulson at MLB Network Radio will join us just after 3:30 this afternoon. Also, hit us up on the Talkback mic. There's a lot to react to involving Manny Machado, shockingly. The content machine like Mike Schild. Do you still believe in Manny Machado? Hit us up on the Talkback mic. You can open the iHeartRadio app. Search for San Diego Sports 760. Tap the Talkback mic. We'll play your 30-second responses this hour. Padres fans, do you still believe in Manny Machado? You can hit us up on the Talkback mic. Open the iHeart app. Search for San Diego Sports 760. Tap the red Talkback mic. Really disappointing weekend, obviously. Another sweep against a quote-unquote bad team. Mets, Angels, Rockies. Machado on Friday, lollygagging down to first. Machado on Sunday getting ejected, and the Padres Jim swept in New York by the lowly Mets. And I go to Philly, where the Phillies are one of the best teams in baseball.
Oh, I thought you were going to start with how Mookie's broken hand affects the race in the National League West.
Well, we can. I've seen X-rays, Jim, if you want to get into the type of break.
What's the timetable on his return?
Well, it's going to be a few weeks.
Oh, wow.
And he might not play in the All-Star game.
Oh, no.
How does that impact who starts wherever he was going to start?
Yeah, I don't care. This weekend, what's new type of thing. I like, seriously, if you invest all of your emotions into this baseball team, I'm not saying don't, but what I'm telling you is I hope you're okay today. Like, I hope you're okay not only today, but for the last 2 years, because this team has been the most toxic relationship for a sports fan and sports team that I can remember. Like, it's pretty bad as far as the ups and the downs and the we're backs and the, oh my God, the season's over, to like just pure rage and anger towards this team for a franchise that has committed so much into the on-field product to in turn give back the fan base just like blah. Like that's a horrible place to be as a fan. And I'm sorry. I hope you're doing okay this year and last year. I hope that you don't let this affect you as much as it may have affected people. But I think when you look at this team play, sometimes it's better to just kind of maybe get away for a little bit, because what they're going to do to you as a fan is make you go insane.
What's the thing I always say?
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
And what's the thing I've been saying more recently? You're not going to know this.
Hold on, let me read your mind.
You might, if you know where they're sitting right now, 37 and 38.
Yeah. It doesn't matter because of the National League. It sucks, and who cares what they do in the next 10 games?
No, but remember, the biggest loser, like that TV show, the biggest loser in baseball this year is the 7th team in the National League.
Yes, that's what you do say a lot.
The team that finishes just outside the postseason and has nothing to show for it. No draft picks, nothing. No chance at the dance, right? No flyer in the postseason, because 6 teams are going to make the postseason. There are basically 10 teams fighting for the final 2 spots in the National League. The Padres are clearly one of them. But what if they finish on the outside looking in? It's a different conversation if they finish in, even if they win 80, 81, 82 games. But if you chase this thing down with all your heart and you're AJ Preller and you miss out, what does it say about you as an organization? And then from a Manny perspective, the reason we bring it up is like you're looking at Bryce Harper. We've done this comp so many times the last couple of years. I'm not saying they could add Harper, but I'm just comping them because they were both free agents in the same class. They're both the same age. And I look at Manny Machado and all these struggles, Jim, an under 700 OPS, ejections, polarizing, controversial, like each and every week seemingly. And then there's Bryce Harper, who's got his 900 OPS. He's on the best team in the National League. Yes, he has not won a World Series, and nor has Manny Machado. So that is a similar storyline. But man, you look at Bryce Harper and the trajectory of the Phillies, and you look at Manny Machado, and you're like, why can't we have nice things? And a lot of this has to fall on Manny. He's getting paid the big bucks like Bryce Harper is. You got to be able to produce. You got to be able to lift a team. And for whatever reason, he's not that guy right now. Just isn't.
No, he's not. He hasn't been that guy since 2022. He had a average postseason in 2022. The NLCS, it's the Harper and Manny are linked forever, it feels like. And Harper had a better series and his team went to the World Series, and Manny didn't have a good series and his team, got eliminated. And Manny's not been playing well for a long time. It's been a long time since Manny's put together a consistent season. And yeah, it's 2022, but still it's middle of 2024 here. And he signed a massive $350 million contract extension after the 2022 season. If you want to blame injuries, if you want to blame age, if you want to blame whatever, okay, you can do that.
Hasn't Bryce Harper been hurt?
But he's out there every day. He's playing all the time. And he's in the middle of that lineup every single day. So for me, the excuses are pretty dry. There's no excuse there for what Manny Machado is not doing on the field for me to be like, the excuse outweighs his play. Because if Manny was legitimately hurt and he wasn't playing, well, he's not playing. Like Xander right now, he's not playing. He's kind of forgotten about because he wasn't having a good year. But I'm not sitting here and being like, oh my God, why isn't Xander in the lineup? He's hurt. Manny is out there every day and he's not producing. He's not getting it done. He's not coming up at all in clutch moments. He, the moment on Friday night, we talked a lot about on Friday with him jogging down the first baseline. Say what you want, but it's not a good look, especially for a guy who was struggling. If Manny was putting it together an MVP season, maybe people look past it. Maybe people say, well, he's doing this for us. Like maybe it's okay if while he's hurting, he jogs on the line so he doesn't get hurt even more. Well, he doesn't have that in his back pocket here because he's having a horrible season. And so with his horrible season last year, no excuses, buddy. And so when you do that, it's a horrible look. And then you go 1 for 15 in the series and your team's under 500 and you're the captain. And you sit here and you ask yourself, will we ever see Manny Machado be Manny Machado ever again?
Well, that's why we asked in the talkback line, like, do you believe in Manny? Here's a guy turning 32 in 2 weeks, essentially 3 weeks. July 6th, he'll turn 32. He's dealt with injuries. So is Bryce Harper. I mean, Harper's had a myriad of injuries, and he is producing at a very high level right now. There's no comp. If you're looking at the seasons or recent history, 2023 on, between Harper and Machado, like, do you still believe Manny is going to have a season like 2022 again? Will he have a 60-game stretch like he had in 2020 again? You can hit us up on the Talkback mic, open the app, search for San Diego Sports 760, tap that red Talkback mic, or you can text us 70470. You can start your message with the word team. When you lose a series to the Mets on the road and you've lost 7 consecutive road games, and then you go to Philadelphia, you are kind of putting your backs against the wall, so to speak. Philadelphia is the best home team in baseball. They're 27-10. Overall, they're winning 67% of the time. There's something like 47-24. They're getting Trey Turner back. Like, the Mets series wasn't the one to get swept in like this is some gimme where you can just find a way to win a game or two. Maybe they do. They've beaten some good teams this year. Maybe they do. Maybe the roller coaster ride continues. But if it doesn't, you're looking at a disastrous road trip potentially with these 3 games in Philadelphia looming.
And then guess what? You come home for 4 against the Brewers. I know that up to the All-Star break, their schedule is not favorable as it was the last 19 games where they completely butchered trying to take any type of advantage that we all hoped they were going to do. And they go 9-10 in that 19-game stretch. You have here, John, their next, I guess, couple weeks here, Philly, Milwaukee, Washington, who's in the mix, Boston, Texas, Arizona, Seattle, Atlanta, boom, then you're at the All-Star break.
But like you said last night, what does it even mean?
Well, if they stay around 500, it doesn't mean anything. But if they have a horrible stretch here and they drop to 8, 9, 10 games under, you tell me that's not really bad?
But what if they were playing the Rockies, Angels, Mets, and they had a 10-game losing streak? Because they've already lost their last 9 against the Rockies, Angels, and Mets. Is it anyone they could be playing makes them susceptible to getting swept?
There's nobody on this schedule that I view as a team that the Padres should beat.
Right.
There's nobody. I'm just saying that their schedule right now, with how they have played this last weekend, leading up to this tough part of their schedule, where they're starting it at a 1 game under 500. If you say they go 500 until the break,
how many games is that?
I think 20, 24, 23, 24. I think 24.
Okay.
They say 24.
Yeah. They go 500?
They go 500.
Yeah.
I'll take that in a second.
Yeah. And they'll be like in the postseason.
Pretty much.
That's why.
But if they don't go 500, John,
they'll be fine.
Okay.
Unless they fall, to your point, if they fall 10 games under 500, then there'll be a point they're cooked. Then they were a year ago.
Then I will start leaning towards the side of what I did last year, which is this is fool's gold. This is false hope. This is a team that ain't it. And we're going to be sitting here, talking about a team hoping they get in the postseason when really in reality, they're just not good.
Here's the truth, because we've watched this team every single day for years on years at this point. They're not going to fall 10 games under 500. They're too good for it. And they're not going to go 10 games over 500. They're not good enough to do it.
They love 500.
And they might go 2-3 under. They might go 2-3 over. They'll likely hover there. They'll likely secure the final or be in position for the final playoff spot, then be outside of it by a half game, be up a game and a half, down a game and a half. Likely nothing will be determined right now. And they'll get to the trade deadline, and they're not going to be in a worse spot than they were a year ago. They're like well under 500, 5 or 6 games out of spot. Like, go for it. Well, they didn't go for it, but they didn't sell off last year at the trade deadline. So if they didn't sell off last year at the trade deadline,
hell no, they're not selling off.
Then they're not going to sell off this year, no matter what happens, barring them losing 10 consecutive games or 13 consecutive games.
It feels like they're chasing the lowest bar possible.
Well, that's because they are.
And that is, to me, I mean, pretty embarrassing for how much they've invested in this franchise. And by they, I mean ownership, Peter, now Eric Casenda, AJ, like the amount of resources, money, trades, getting rid of a lot of talent in your organization, blockbuster deal after blockbuster deal, the amount of time and work and everything they put in, which has worked on the ticket sales side.
Oh, yeah.
Which has worked for filling up Petco Park every night, but has failed horribly for the big league club. To be 500, to be a 500 club over this stretch of however many games it is, right?
75?
Well, not only 75, I'm talking about like for years.
Oh,
right?
Since the start of 2023?
Yeah. Like it's embarrassing that you're one of the top 10 payrolls in baseball. You had a top 5 payroll last year, and you're chasing the lowest bar possible. How embarrassing that is for your franchise.
I don't know. I mean, that's a fair angle to take. I mean, I don't know if it'll be deemed as embarrassing if they get in as the last wild card.
If I'm viewing this team from a different standpoint, like if I'm a Phillies fan or if I'm covering the Phillies and I'm like, the Padres have all these players. They've made all these trades. They have multiple guys in their team making $300 million plus dollars. Xander, Joe, and they're just 500. Like, well, what?
I went to Spot Track because they took off, shaved $75 million off last year's payroll. They're 15th. They're 15th in 2024 in payroll. The Phillies are 4th. They've come back to earth. All their money is tied up in the chosen few. Jeremiah Estrada makes no money, right? A lot of these guys don't make a lot of money. They got 5-7 guys making all their money. The Padres are 15th in baseball. And by the way, they're the 15th best team in baseball. They're not good. They're not bad. They're not at the top of the National League. They're not at the bottom of it. They're just kind of average. Now, to your point, they've marketed the hell out of this team. They draw the same number of fans as the Phillies, who are 27-10 at home. Mm-hmm. The exact same number of fans. So that's a credit to them on the marketing side. But at some point, you're going to have to win. At some point, you're going to have to win. You're going to have to get to the postseason. This is a breaking point. 2024 is massive, obviously. If you don't make the postseason in 2024, who knows what happens on the other side of it?
And you said, will we ever see Manny put together a Manny-like season again?
Right.
I'm more concerned with, can Manny just produce and contribute this year?
Well, that's what I mean too. Will it happen this year?
Can he put together a stretch of games where he looks good at the plate, where he's producing, where he's come up in clutch moments. Because right now he hasn't done any of that. He just hasn't. He's been really bad. Everything about Manny Machado's game this year and last year has been underwhelming. And it makes it that much worse because they need him so desperately to perform. They needed him so bad last year to be better, and they need him so badly this year to be better. And when he's not, and he's making all this money, and he's the quote unquote captain of the team, it just makes it look even worse when you have a Manny Machado who, in the first 2 years of his $350 million mega contract extension, has put together two of the worst seasons of his entire career.
You're right. I completely agree with that. He is in the midst of the worst season of his career. It's not close. Now, the season isn't over. To your point, when I say, do you believe in Manny Machado? I agree. Can he turn this thing around in the second half? I don't know the answer to it. Like, the season isn't over. We've seen him start slow. Last year, for example, 11 homers in July. Somehow, with the All-Star game, multiple home run games last July.
Maybe it happens this year. That'd be awesome.
Right now, though, because we can't guarantee it, he's turning 32 July 6th. And if this were to continue for a year, something comparable to this, maybe a little better, and he hits 15 home runs or 14 home runs and has a 701 OPS and hits 250 on the nose.
And he still plays like 145 games.
Then what are we supposed to then say about 2025? Well, he's coming off an elbow, Jim. We were told the second year is going to be better. I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to need to see it. I won't be buying that narrative coming into 2025.
No, I'll need to see it because it's not like Manny's at 27, 28-year-old.
Right.
He's a 32 going on 33-year-old.
Well, 32. Yeah, next year. Yeah.
So it's just not great. It's bad. There's a lot of things that happen this series that we're not even talking about.
Yeah, but all goes back to the same thing.
It does. It really does. This team feels like it goes as Manny goes.
Right.
And when Manny doesn't go, it feels like everything around him and the entire team just gets brought down to just a level of blah. They're just average. Because I bet you if you look at July last year, they probably had a really good record in July.
I think they did play well in July because that's when they didn't sell off because they swept the Texas Rangers and they kind of quasi got back into it. And then the wheels completely fell off in August.
Yeah. And I bet you if you look at August, he looked horrible in August. And then September, he played every other day because of his elbow because he was refusing to shut it down.
Right.
Because he needed to get his numbers.
Correct.
So it does feel as simple as it sounds. And I know baseball is just a completely different sport where one guy, it's hard to rely on. It's hard if one guy's having a great season, your teams still suck. Example, Angels the last decade. But it does feel like this team is in a sense different than that. When Manny goes, it feels like the team goes.
What do you got, Brent?
They were 15-10 in July last year.
Okay, so listen to this. Thank you. Because listen to this. His OPS last July was 1092, 1092.
Incredible.
Listen to his OPS in August, 674.
And they just collapsed.
And then it was 891 in September when it didn't matter, and they did play better baseball.
Yeah.
Grant Paulson, MLB Network Radio, is going to join us in about 10 minutes. Let's sneak in a call from Dave, loyal listener, back with us here on Jon and Jim. Dave, thanks for calling in.
Well, I feel the pain, guys, with you. And, Jimmy, you're right on target. Look, and I've said it before, you guys have said it before, to sum up this entire mess, you've got the five, and I guess you could throw Cronenworth in there as the sixth player that they have on the team collectively with that over $1 billion worth of investment salary, whatever you want to call it. And clearly the trend has been established that this group of six has yet, after God knows how many months and years that they've been here, to prove that they can collectively sustain, and that's the key term, guys, collectively sustain any kind of quality run that would take them to the World Series. And you're absolutely right, Jim. The bar of being just acceptable to get into the last slot of the playoffs after you've invested all that money is just criminal, is where we're at. And people are now waking up to this. People are waking up to this. And so I wonder, as I've wondered aloud with you before, how is this ownership when the fans catch up to this, and that ballpark, instead of having 40,000, is going to have 25,000, and that's coming soon because people are not going to put up with this; they can't pay for it. So therein lies the bigger equations here. We need to have a conversation about, frankly.
Appreciate it, Dave. We do. I mean, yeah, like
ticket prices aren't going down; they're only going up.
And again, like that's why I say, like, if you miss the postseason this year, and to everyone's point, you're right, 82 and 80 is complete average, whatever. You could probably get away with it if you're in the postseason. But if you're not, like, you got to pay taxes at some point. In 2025, you're gonna have to pay on that because you're not drawing 43,000 a night with Xander Bogaerts bobbleheads if you're missing the postseason again.
Even if, and this is where I stand on this, even if you are in the postseason, you better have an epic run in you, because if you get swept in the first round, A, you don't get to have any home games, and you won't get to generate any postseason playoff money. And B, it just feels like you're the 7-9 wild card team that just got in because everybody else sucks in your division. Now, again, it's different in football, but anyway, that's how I would feel. Is if you get in at 82 and 80, yeah, okay, great. But you better as hell have an epic run in you, because if you don't, then it's just not acceptable in my eyes.
All right, we can discuss that on the other side. Plus, Grant Paulson, MLB Network Radio, great voice on all things Major League Baseball. Let's talk about the state of this NL wildcard race as we get you ready for Padres and Phillies game one of a series at Citizens Bank Ballpark in Philadelphia this afternoon. Grant Paulson, MLB Network Radio. He'll join us next. All right, Grant Paulson, MLB Network Radio, will join us on the other side. We're getting you ready for Padres and Phillies. Plus, what does he make of this wacky National League wildcard race and the upcoming trade deadline? That's next.
All right, this update is brought to you by Macy's. Padres start a 3-game series in Philadelphia tonight, 3:40 first pitch. Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres after the Padres got swept in New York by the Mets. They are now 1 game back under 500. Looking at the U.S. Open yesterday, Bryson DeChambeau won his second U.S. Open after Rory McIlroy had 2 missed putts on 16 and 18 to open the door for Bryson to win it. And tonight, Mavs Celtics. Celtics looking to close out the Mavs and win their first championship in over a decade. Mavericks are looking to extend this series and take it back to Dallas for a game 6, 5:30 tip-off time in Boston. Shop Macy's Backstage today for amazing deals on everything you need for summer. Get low prices every day at Macy's Backstage. Find a store near you at macysbackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily.
Car or settling in at home, just ask your Google or Alexa smart speaker to play AM 760 or stream it live through the iHeartRadio app. It's never been easier to stay connected with your favorite shows like this one. San Diego Sports 760 goes where you go. We'll check in with Grant Paulson in a minute. He had said Brent maybe somewhere in the 335 range. We'll check in with Grant Paulson, MLB Network Radio, in a couple of minutes as we get ready for Padres and Phillies. I'm previewing this game right now on Padres.tv. They just showed an incredible stat, which is what Bryce Harper is doing with men in scoring position. Because, there used to be the like adage with Machado, clutchado, right? Machado. He's such a clutch hitter. And in his career, he's been a clutch hitter. He actually has. If you look at his career numbers, he's been good. What Bryce Harper is doing, and we saw it firsthand in 2022 in the postseason, he comes through in big spots time and time again. He's doing it again this year. He leads baseball hitting with men in scoring position. He's just such a clutch player. That's what we wanna see. Honestly, I can live with 248, Jim. It's crazy. I can live with it if this guy is so dynamic with men on base. Like, he makes up for it. He drives in big runs. He has some big, decisive game-winning hits, maybe one or two of those this year. I need more of them. Like Bryce Harper's
Runners in scoring position this year, Manny's hit 254 with a 688 OPS there. Just one home run, 26 RBI. Scoring position with 2 outs.
Yeah.
Manny's hitting 214 with 576 OPS.
That's crazy.
He's not been clutch this year. Frankly, he wasn't really clutch last year either. How many times did we talk about, because I know Kevin did all the research, the clutchness with the team last year and this year have been horrible.
Yes. I mean, they were like the least clutch team ever a year ago.
And this year's team isn't that much better.
Right.
They're a little better.
They're a little better.
But they're still not really good. This team, when it comes to clutch moments, rarely comes through. Rarely. It kind of feels like a massive thing when one of the superstars are up in like the 8th inning with 2 outs and down by a run, runners on second and third, and they come through. I mean, this past weekend, the whole should he have sent him, should he not have sent him gate with Ha-Seong Kim, who's a really bad base runner, by the way. And you had Fernando Tatis Jr. in a clutch moment. And what happens? He strikes out.
We can get into it all here with Grant Paulson, MLB Network Radio. We appreciate Grant taking some time for us as the Padres get ready for the Phillies. Grant, appreciate you joining us out west here in San Diego on Jon and Jim. I mean, we've been having a conversation about Bryce Harper and Manny Machado. I'd love to get your 2 cents at some point over the next 8 or 10 minutes. But I just want to start with the NL wildcard race. And I know we're only kind of halfway, not even halfway. And there's all these teams within like a game or two. I mean, what do you make of this where teams might be chasing down 81 or 82 wins to get into the postseason?
Yeah, I think it's going to be fascinating because we're going to have maybe the most interesting deadline build-up period that we've had in terms of, clubs trying to figure out if they're going to buy or sell, right? Whether or not they should buy or sell, because you've got the traditional, decision to make as to whether or not you think you have a chance to win come the playoffs. Can you make any noise, be a tough out, go on a run? You've also seen teams over the last several years, dating back to the Nats in 2019, the Phillies kind of ahead of schedule, go on kind of the magical carpet rides when they were wild card type teams and have success, which maybe gives you a little more pause as far as selling. But then there's also complications with ownership where if it's a ball club that's rebuilding and not drawing, and now all of a sudden, you are in the conversation. Maybe ownership goes, hey, we want some butts and seats. We want to draw. We want some gates to matter in September. So I think people will probably think they've got a beat on what everybody's going to do, and we're going to be wrong on a couple of teams. But what's amazing is just how many clubs are involved. I think it's 9 teams within 2 games right now of each other on the wild card cut line there, including I'm sitting here in D.C. where the Nats are a game back of 500. Nobody saw it coming. They today are tied for a wild card spot. They have no business doing anything but selling. But if the deadline comes and they're still in this spot, they're one of a bunch of teams that's going to have a big decision to make.
And we've been talking a lot about Manny here. For the national perspective, Grant, is Manny Machado still viewed as a top elite player, or is this the time of Manny's career where it's just probably going to be on the decline from here on out? Or do you expect, Manny to be that guy again like he was in 2022?
I would say he's excellent. I don't know that I would consider him in the elite conversation, right? Where, when we're turning on the TV, and Mookie Betts is in the news now for an injury, obviously, but when you're talking about perennial MVP types, the best in the sport, whether it's Juan Soto and now the newer tier with Bobby Witt Jr. at shortstop in Kansas City, or Gunnar Henderson in Baltimore, who's got 20-plus home runs, not even 22 years old. I mean, those types of players, I think, have supplanted him. So there's a tier above him of kind of the perennial MVP names. I think he's on that next tier down of, an annual all-star type who's still a really, really good player. But I don't, if you're asking me, is he still elite? Is he still a superstar? I don't know that I'd put him in that category as being one of the top 10, 12, 15 players in the game. I don't think that's a crime. I don't think it makes him overpaid or anything like that, right? Got his contract long enough ago. The numbers have changed since then that when he gets on a heater, he can still carry you for several weeks. He can still play in spurts like an MVP type for 3 weeks, a month at a time and still put together all-star numbers. I just don't know that he's on the level of some of the best in the sport, those Aaron Judge, a healthy Ronald Acuna, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman types.
Grant Paulson with us right now, MLB Network Radio. Again, Padres and Phillies about to get underway, talking some Padres and Major League Baseball right now. So if you're AJ Preller, and there's still weeks till the deadline, but Preller's always active. He's already had 2 blockbusters, and we're nowhere near the deadline with Dylan Cease to start the year. Luis Ariz very early in the season. If you're AJ Preller and they're in a similar spot, a 500 team, up a game or down a game on a wild card spot, what would be your biggest area of need, or what do you think he'd be entertaining in the weeks ahead should he have, a wild card contending team?
Yeah, I'll give you my answer in a second, but I'm curious right now. What do people in town think they're going to do or think they should do? Like, what is the prevailing thought within the fan base, and is it the same as the media?
Buy, because that's just who he is.
Course.
Like you said, there's other teams that would sell because they wouldn't chase bad money. But the Padres aren't that. That's not. It just seems like he chases everything down, whether it works or not.
Yeah, I don't know if he's got the word "sell" in the DNA.
Right.
Right. I mean,
right.
It just doesn't seem like they have any interest, and I wonder if he would feel like it's an admission at that point of all of the aggressiveness over the years. So I have no thought that they're going to sell, which is what I would do. But I would be a little bit more conservative than a lot of executives, and maybe I'd be out of the gig sooner than not, I guess. But to me, I think if you're going to buy, you got to truly think that you can win a World Series. And I'm not sure with that roster construction and what they are right now that they can confidently feel that way. You got to have at least, you got to be a favorite, or you got to be one of those teams in terms of the odds to do it. But you got to see a path to, as I call it, like I was saying, that matchup perfect tide where you knock a couple teams off, and next thing you know, you're knocking on the door. I think one of their superpowers in San Diego the last several years is, despite all of the trades that they've made, and so many of the stellar prospects and young big leaguers they've given up. I told you I'm here in D.C. watching Gore and Abrams and James Woods coming back to, AAA where he's been hurt, but he's had an unbelievable year. Like they've traded so many players, and yet they always still have more than they can give up. They've done a really good job developing and kind of finding guys. The system was deeper even than expected. I would try to add to that pipeline. I would try to solidify and reinforce with competition and kind of flood the system and trade a couple of pieces off. I really like we did it with Soto in that regard. But obviously that's not what people want to hear, and that's probably not what they're going to do.
Yeah, I think everyone here in town, Grant, would be pretty surprised if they went to seller mode and they were still, maybe in it, so to say, at the deadline here. But speaking of the deadline,
especially, and I'll just say this too, especially because when you look at NL Wild group club, they're a lot of those. So I actually do think that if you're picking who's going to make it right now, the Padres, without any move, could very well get in, and this move, I think, could separate themselves from clubs like St. Louis or obviously the Nationals, the Mets with time, I think are going to fall off naturally. There's not going to be 9 teams still in there, but they're better than a lot of those teams, and I think internally that
biggest name that gets traded at the deadline, in your opinion, is
Alonso. I do think Alonso gets moved. I think it would be a no-brainer for the Mets, looking at where they are, what they've got coming down the pipe. I'd be shocked if he doesn't go. My more bigger curiosity is kind of more the pitching side of things. Who's the biggest starting pitcher that goes? So I do think Alonso is traded at the deadline.
Grant, we appreciate you hopping on. We know it's a busy time. Trade deadline coming up in about 6 weeks or so. Always interesting here in San Diego, the only professional team among the big four being the San Diego Padres, and with their GM being AJ Preller. So we appreciate you taking a few minutes for us. We look forward to doing it again at some point this summer. Thank you.
Hey, AJ doesn't mess around, man. He keeps it interesting.
He sure does. For us, makes our jobs easier. Thank you, Grant Paulson. MLB Network Radio. We'll react to that on the other side. Plus, do you still believe in Manny Machado? You can hit us up on the Talkback mic, open the iHeartRadio app, search for San Diego Sports 760, tap that red Talkback mic. We'll play your responses on the other side. Plus, is that good? The best and worst of the sports weekend next. All right, is that good? The best and worst of the sports weekend, plus your talkbacks on Manny Machado next. Right. To get to is that good, the best and worst of the sports weekend. Then we'll play a talk back or two coming up as well. We're with you until 6 p.m. By the way, today, Doobie Brothers tickets will give away and San Diego Fair tickets will give away. So
Ooh.
both of them. Not together, Jim.
No.
It's a set. Like you're not going to see the Doobie Brothers at the fair,
Right.
but we're giving away 2 giveaways.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, great. Let's get to it.
I'll start with this.
Okay.
It's not really like a happen on the field type of thing, but could have a big impact here for my Niners. Brandon Ayuk on a TikTok live with Jaden Daniels said, his former teammate at ASU, said that the 49ers said they don't want me. Is that good?
No, it's not good. Are you kidding me?
Do you think this is all a play for negotiation?
Yeah, they already have him. Well, why do they need to want him right now, right? Because that's for beyond 2024.
Yeah,
they already have him.
They already have him.
Worry about that, though. Is he going to hold out?
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
They don't give him a contract.
It's a play. You're right. It's all a tactic.
Yeah.
They're going to use all their money on Ayuk.
Niners have the leverage here, which not all the time the teams have, but they have the leverage with Brandon Ayuk.
To start the year or in general? I mean, they'll need him, right?
Well, as far as like negotiations go.
Gotcha.
Not for like on field. On field,
Sure.
They absolutely need him.
Sure.
But negotiations, they have leverage, yeah.
All right. My first is going to be what we talked about during the fusion. Rory.
Oh,
kind of tough to watch.
Dude.
2 missed putts, one from inside 3 feet, the other from inside 4 feet.
Ugh.
In the final 3 holes to lose the U.S. Open by 1 stroke. Is that good?
No, it
wasn't good.
Are you
It
kidding
was
me?
hard to watch.
I mean, I wanted him to win because I picked him to win.
You did.
And
you texted me when he was playing well, and then he collapsed.
That putt on 18, it was a tough putt.
Yeah,
Downhill.
It felt like it was.
It was a tough putt. You had to hit it just right, and he hit it too soft, and it took the break way too hard. 16, though, was way worse.
Jimmy.
Way worse. And you know when you like mess up, when you hit it And the first reaction is like, slow down,
Yeah, exactly.
because you know you effed up.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know you misread it or you just hit a bad ball. That was a tough watch there. Absolute choke job by Rory. Brutal. Manny Machado, speaking of brutal, went 1 for 15 against the Mets this weekend. Is that good?
No, he's not good. Are you kidding me?
He had 15 ABs. I didn't even realize that.
He played every game.
All right. No, it's not very good.
No.
Fernando Tatis Jr. in the Mets series, I think it was 0 for 11. He was 0 for 4 yesterday with 4 strikeouts. Is that good?
No, he's not good. Are you kidding me?
Speaking of Fernando Tatis Jr.,
Yeah.
he's third in All-Star voting for outfielders.
That's good.
Is that good?
It is good.
Speaking of the All-Star game, Jerkson Profar leads National League outfielders in total votes. Is that good?
It is good.
So if the All-Star game was today or voting ended today, you'd have 3 starters on the Padres. Arise at second, Profar in left, Tatis in right.
Correct.
That's 3 of 8. I mean, outside of the pitcher, like 3 of 8 position players.
If you're looking at, hold on, where is it? Manny Machado's second for third baseman.
Right.
But by a lot, though. Like, it's not even close. Alec Boehm has over 1 million votes. Second place is Manny with 267,000.
Right.
So
he's not going to overtake.
He's not going to overtake that. But if you look at the outfield here, John, it's a pretty close race. I mean, Profar's not running away with this thing. He has 900,000 votes. Christian Yelich, second with 821,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tatis, Teoscar Hernandez, they're both in the 750-ish range. And then Brandon Marsh and Nick Castellanos are there. Like, this is all going to change, but
one of those two will start.
None of those two will start.
And maybe both.
Luis Ariz is right there with Ketel Marte at like around 600,000.
Gotcha. So that could change too. You're right. So they could go anywhere from like 1 starter to 3. Because if everything collapsed, like if Ariz didn't win it, if Tatis fell outside of the top 3, you could have 1 starter, but you could have as many as 3. All right, is that good? Let's get to a talk back. We asked about, I think we have time for one here, Brent. We asked about your belief in Manny Machado. Some of you hit us up on the talk back. Mike, let's take a listen. So a real estate play for Machado and his agent.
He's a nice house in Coronado.
And I think he expanded it.
I think he could do whatever he wants.
He's like, I want to expand my home. That's my goal for the final 11 years.
Own all of Coronado.
It's on his way.
There you go.
All right. On the other side, we will get to the wrap. Plus, in the 4 o'clock hour, your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair underway at the Del Mar Fairgrounds through July 7th. Let's look back, have some fun together, and go retro. For tickets and info, go to sdfair.com. Keep listening. We'll give those away in the 4 o'clock hour. Hour 2, Jon and Jim next.
All right, this update's brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Padres and Phillies underway in Philadelphia. Scoreless bottom of the second inning there. And tonight, game 5 of the NBA Finals. Mavericks looking to extend this thing to a game six back in Dallas. Celtics looking to close this thing out and win their first championship in over a decade and 18th overall as a franchise. 5:30 tip-off time in Boston. Shop Macy's Backstage today for amazing deals on everything you need for summer. Get low prices every day at Macy's Backstage. Find a store near you at macysbackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? It is hour 2 of Jon and Jim. This hour, we will give away a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. The weather is spectacular. It's supposed to be all week long. The fair is a great spot between now and July 7th. Going on at the Del Mar Fairgrounds, let's look back, have some fun together, and go retro. For tickets and info, go to sdfair.com. We will keep you up to date on Padres and Phillies. They have begun a 3-game series in Philadelphia. Padres trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Remember there was a moment, Jim, where they were like, oh, it's the best road team in baseball. This is such a good team on the road. You remember it?
And then they lost 7 in a row.
Yeah, it was like an e-break. It was like a very hard break. So we'll keep you updated on Phillies and Padres. They are scoreless right now in the second inning. And again, we'll give away those Del Mar Fair tickets, San Diego County Fair. But right now, let's get to this.
Really? Is tonight a must-win game for the Mavs?
I wonder who wrote that question.
That?
Really?
Well, you could weigh the pros and cons. I mean, to win a title, yes.
To lose a championship,
then no.
It's a no.
Okay, how about a better way to look at it is, will
Can
tonight
the
be,
Mavericks win tonight in Dallas?
Will it be competitive?
Boston.
They're 6.5-point underdogs. Will it be competitive tonight?
I think here's a crazy stat. No team in NBA Finals history has come back from a 3-0 deficit. In turn, no team in NBA Finals history has won the NBA Finals when losing a game in the finals by 38 points or more. Celtics lost last game by 38 points or more. The Mavericks trailed this series 3-0. History will be made in this series one way or the other.
Well, look at it this way. If the Celtics don't win this series, A, I'm looking at Brian Windhorst, and B, you want to talk about choke jobs. Like, this is the choke. No team has ever lost a 3-0 lead, like you said. This would be the most ultimate epic choke job ever. I don't see it happening. I think Boston wins tonight.
I think Kristaps Porzingis is available tonight, too.
Ooh.
So, yeah. When he was, I think, Woj said he wasn't going to play the rest of the series, and now he's back for game 5. Okay.
Next question.
Can the Padres win this series against the Phillies?
Yeah, and I can go get another candy bar if I wanted to.
Sure.
They're not a team that you should expect them to win series at all, ever, for the rest of the season, until they prove otherwise, until they prove that they can and should beat the teams that we are deeming below them that they have to beat. Obviously, the Phillies are the best team in the National League, but just the way this weird season has gone so far, yeah, they could win this series, and it would be completely Padres. How you get swept by the Mets, and then you go and win 2 or 3 in Philadelphia.
I completely agree with you. They have won series against good teams this year, maybe even routinely. I mean, they've got a couple of series wins against the LA Dodgers. Now, they were swept by the Phillies at Petco Park.
And that amazing defensive clinic series that the Padres put on.
Right. Mike Schill, after the series, saying that the Padres put on a defensive clinic, but they were swept by the Phillies. So, yeah, nothing shocks me. Nothing shocks me right now with this team. Let's get to the next question.
Did Angel Reese make a basketball play, or was it a flagrant foul when she hit Caitlin Clark in the head yesterday?
I mean, it was a bang-bang play. It's deemed a flagrant foul because she hit her in the head. There's no controversy. There shouldn't be any controversy.
Oh, there's a controversy.
Well, again, we're blowing up one flagrant foul for no reason. It shouldn't be even like blown up at all on a national stage, but it is because it's Angel Reese and it's Caitlin Clark.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you could look at it both ways. You could look at it as like, what are we doing here? Why are we talking about this? That was a flagrant foul that stopped like she shouldn't be. I thought Matt Leinart, who of all people chimed in was,
Well, he should know.
yeah, exactly, saying like Angel Reese should be suspended or something for that flagrant foul.
No, it was a flagrant
No,
foul.
it's a flagrant foul. You move on. It's over with. But in turn, the WNBA should be happy that we're talking about an actual like basketball play here and not some stupid like
off court
racial divide, stupid whatever else you want to call it, WNBA stuff with Caitlin Clark. It's an actual on-court play that we're talking about, but it's a flagrant one. You move on. Nothing less, nothing more.
I think the only reason it's actually as relevant as it is, yes, it's Reese and Clark, but what Angel Reese said post-game, I think is completely inaccurate, which was it's a basketball play and there's basically favoritism towards her. Completely disagree. I mean, she got hit across the head. It is a flagrant foul in both men's and women's basketball. Simple as that.
That's like her MO, though, that I've noticed. Every time they lose a game, she goes on the press conference and makes excuses and complains that it's the refs or it's some treatment. And she always has tons of excuses every time they lose.
It's an interesting rivalry. It is. I mean, it's going to be interesting to track.
On court, like it's a good thing for the WNBA because, I mean, they're getting primetime games. Their teams suck. And people are always talking about when they play.
Right. You're saying those two teams are bad.
Those two, those two teams are bad.
Yep. No, I agree. All right. Next question.
Will the Padres have 3 starters in the All-Star game?
Oh, we kind of talked about this.
We did. I'm going to say yes.
You think they get 3 in?
It will be very close.
Yeah.
Very close. Because I think Luis Ariz and Ketel Marte are like neck and neck.
Right.
Profar jumped out to a pretty nice lead.
He should be a starter.
But things could change very quickly.
Okay. You're right.
Tatis has now put himself in the mix to be a starter because the National League outfield situation is not good. I think they're going to have 3. It's going to be weird when they're under 500 and they have 3 starters too, by the way.
Yeah, that would be weird. I'll go with like the middle and say 2. I'll say that Ariz starts at second and Profar starts in the end. No, I'm with you. And the more I think about it, Tatis is going to be a vote getter. If he's already in that spot, he's actually played good baseball here the last couple of weeks. I think he's only going to get more votes as a result. Ariz should be there as the hit leader in the National League, and Profar should be there. So it is weird. What you said is spot on. Like, you've got 3 position players out of 8 that are going to start for a team that right now is under 500. And that's kind of weird. And their pitching's been half decent at times, yet they're still under 500. It's so weird. Tracking this team, watching this team each and every day. Like, how are you going to have 3 starters? You've got a great bullpen. Where are you without Robert Suarez? And you're under 500. It's just weird.
Like, when you look at it, they have an all-star at first base.
Yep.
In Ariz, even though he's in as a second baseman.
Sure.
You have an all-star in Jake Cronenworth. You have an all-star in Manny Machado. You have an all-star in Fernando Tatis Jr. And potentially you're going to have an all-star in Jurickson Profar in left and a rookie of the year candidate in center field in Jackson Merrill and a gold glove shortstop in Ha-Seong Kim, even though he's not played really great defense this year. Think about that.
It's weird.
You have an all-star closer, right?
Someone made an interesting point that, like, every team in baseball has had multiple blown saves. But I don't know where the Padres are, at least in the 9th inning. The Padres have probably blown them in 7th or 8th inning spots before Suarez.
No, Padres have blown save.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But in the 9th?
Yeah. Against the Royals.
Okay, but anyway, every other team is
that's
more.
The first that comes up to my mind.
Every other team, I think, I could be wrong here, is more than the Padres. So think about that. If they had 1 or 2 more, they're 3-5 under. Get under 500 right now. So, again, the blown save stat, you have to be careful with because you can have a 3-run lead or less in the 6th inning or later and have a blown save. So it's not always in the 9th inning. It's not always Suarez. So, and by the way, Suarez was on the mound in Kansas City because that was whomever, Matsui, right?
Isn't that crazy that you got all-stars in almost every position and a rookie of the year candidate as well in there, and you basically are an average baseball team?
And why is that? I wish I knew. I wish I knew.
I wish I knew too. Looking at the blown saves here, John.
Yeah.
It doesn't show it.
I mean, the point is the point. The back end, I mean, the 9th inning on, they've been really good. I mean, obviously, because Suarez has not appeared in a loss this year, right? Every time he's appeared, they've won.
How many games has he appeared in?
27, I think.
28 games. They've won all 28 games.
Yeah. So, again, what if you didn't have him? You'd be even worse than a game below 500.
It'd be bad, John. It'd be very, very bad.
All right, here's what we're going to do. Coming up this hour, again, your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. Our thoughts, by the way, the latest on Charles Barkley. Is he really going to walk away at the end of next season? But Snoop Dogg, as you would expect, was, of course, broadcasting a Brewers game because this just goes hand in hand, right? When you think about Snoop Dogg.
That's exactly what I think.
Brewers.
Yeah.
Was this on TV, Brent?
Yeah.
This is on TV. Okay, so let's hear a little bit of this. This is Snoop Dogg broadcasting on television like you'd expect him to be broadcasting a Milwaukee Brewers game.
There's a bouncing ball to second. Look at Terang picking.
Easy to 1-2-1-2. That'll do what it do.
Sanchez on the 1-2. What I told you, get it in there. Oh, he in there. Sanchez. That's yes, I told you, baby. We call that an easy walk in the park. That's a base hit. Give him a single. He does like to mingle. And my favorite jingle is the S to the N, double O, no.
You squeeze that in there, all right.
Oh, get it in there. Get it in there. He can just run it out. Ah, he's safe.
Run it out. It's tough to rhyme orange. Yeah. How about Jackson Churio?
Cheerio. Oh, boy. Cheerio. Live in stereo with my main man, Jackson Cheerio. Oh, he's taking off. He gone. Let him get there. Way to go, Perk. Earn mine. You got to earn mine, Perk. You got to earn mine. You getting mine back. You getting my respect. There you go, Perk.
Making up for that play.
I like Bryce. Bryce came and asked for an autograph in the clubhouse earlier today. Yeah, I signed his bat. He had a nice little bat.
He's got an unusual bat with
the wood. Yeah.
I got one back there. You want to take a look at it after
It's a real one?
Yeah, real one. His bat.
Oh, I need that. Bat.
You want to take it home?
Yeah. Oh, good hit. That's a good hit. He can't get there. Oh!
Foul ball.
Hey, I caught it. Mom, look, I made it.
Man, we gotta get some action going with the Brew Crew for Snoop.
They chilling right now. They laid back. You know, when you hang out with the dog, you got to be laid back. You know what I'm saying? So they laid back with their mind on their money right now. They gonna shake about it. How often do people slide down that slide over there? Right. He can't get there. He better not outrun you. You better not let the pitcher outrun you, dog. Come on now. That's what I'm talking about. 2 for 2. Oh, he gone. He took that. Get up in there. He took that. Give him that. Where to go eat? Go eat. 22 eating right now. Things on now.
Have a great show tonight, Potawatomi.
Man, thank y'all for having me,
It's
man.
been a pleasure.
Enjoy yourself.
Good luck at the Olympics.
Thank you, boss. Yes,
He's
sir.
also going to be on The Voice.
Yes, sir.
In the fall.
Yes, sir. I'm working hard and hardly working.
Just glow. The star is glowing.
Let's go.
Bryce is coming back.
More of that.
I fixed baseball.
There it is. It's been fixed. He should call national games.
It's Snoop Dogg.
That was very good. That was very entertaining.
I would listen to an entire Snoop Dogg broadcast in a second.
Over having an umpire in the booth?
Over having an umpire. Yes.
I have to find it because I guess he FaceTimed with Euchre at some point during the
during
game
that?
too. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was amazing. Snoop Dogg on the mic. I need a Snoop Dogg on the mic unedited version.
Ooh. Yeah, put that on like MLB.TV or somewhere on the internet.
I need Snoop Dogg to be just himself. I need him to be smoking a blunt. I need him to be cursing. I need Snoop Dogg just unfiltered, just watching a baseball game and
it's a good idea.
Going unhinged because that was amazing to listen to.
That was really good.
Yeah.
We have 2 updates involving Padres starters on the IL. The first of which is Yu Darvish will make a start in a rehab game in Fort Wayne, of all places, Fort Wayne, Indiana, with the single-A affiliate of the Padres. He will do that Wednesday, which means you slate him ahead. He could be back in a big league mound in 7 or 8 days? Because Wednesday's in 2 days, 5 days from there, 7 days. So 7 or 8 days, you could see Yu Darvish back on the mound in the big leagues, which is very good considering Adam Mazur's struggles. And then you have Joe Musgrove. This was reported today in the UT. Joe Musgrove, Jim, listen to this, is expected to play catch this week, Wednesday or Thursday. Joe Musgrove will play catch. It was also reported this weekend that his new slider, this was Jim Russell's big theory earlier this year that the new slider he was throwing may have contributed to his arm issues. That was reported this weekend that his new slider may have done him in earlier this year and put him on the IL. Look at you. You're a soothsayer.
Everyone's like, you're an idiot. You don't know baseball.
And then you get things right. And you get no credit.
Pretty much how it works.
Right? I haven't seen a lot of credit to you over the weekend.
Something it just felt fishy and weird how he's trying to change his slider in spring training.
Right.
Coming off of the shoulder injury. You're like, okay, that doesn't make sense. Why would you do? Oh, probably because the slider is something that it's hurting you and it's affecting you. And it's maybe one of the reasons why your shoulder got effed up last year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now it's kind of weird how he's not going to be changing his entire motion, but tinkering it because of the slider, or at least changing how he throws that pitch.
Right.
Just signals to me that pitch is the cause of his arm issues.
By the way, best case here, you're talking probably late next month. Like he's playing catch. So best case here, as he ramps up, would be at some point later in July. Worst case, he has surgery. That's been reported.
Yeah.
The bone spur situation, they want to avoid it. They're letting it kind of calm down, and then they're going to try to ramp it back up. But that's kind of like the last, like you ramp it up, and if you feel good, okay. And if you don't, then what do? You have surgery.
I expect nothing from Joe the rest of the season.
So you're banking on nothing, and that's why they have to acquire starting pitching.
Yep. I expect nothing from him. Yu Darvish is completely different.
Way different.
His body's just breaking down because he's old. Okay. His arm's still fine. And when he's out there, more often than not, he's done well. It's just like the hamstring, the neck, like you hope the back doesn't flare up. You hope up on him, and they have to make sure they have a plan for Yu Darvish to get him through the rest of the season healthy. If it's missing a couple starts or it's extending, like do it. Just make sure that he is healthy and his body doesn't give out on him.
Mm-hmm.
But Joe, on the other hand, it's his arm and his shoulder and his elbow. I expect nothing from Joe. I really don't. And if you get anything from him the rest of this year, to me, it feels kind of like an added bonus, not like an expectation, what people were expecting from him this season.
You know, there was this, we talk about all the time, like injuries aren't going to be an excuse for a team that really only has to win maybe 82 games to get into the postseason. And by the way, they're not the only team dealing with injuries. You know, I mean, they're just not. Like I look at Mookie Betts going on the IL. They placed a pitcher on the IL at the same moment.
Yamamoto.
Yamamoto. Thank you. And even another guy. They have as many guys in the IL. All these teams deal with it. Acuna's on the IL. Dodgers have guys on the IL.
Acuna's out for the year.
Exactly.
Torn ACL.
Padres have they do. Bogart's a lot of money. Darvish, Musgrove, yes.
JT Realmuto's out for the Phillies.
Exactly. They're starting some catcher with no, major league time.
Soto's missing some time with the Yankees.
It's just a part of it.
Yep.
And by the way, the Phillies are that. Games over 500.
Yeah, there's not an excuse that's going to be here because of injuries.
Right.
Just not. I don't care if this franchise wants to do it. Well, I'm going to call their BS because it's not going to play in this town, especially on this show, as being an excuse.
I agree.
Especially, like you said, when the National League is so just average. You know, if the sixth wild card team won 90 games.
Right. Which may happen in the American League.
I mean,
last year that happened, I think 89.
But again, you got to be above 500 at the end of the year, and you got to get into the postseason at all costs. I don't care.
Game one of the series, the Phillies lead the Padres 2-0 in the third inning on a Kyle Schwarber home run. So there was some good defense earlier behind Randy Vasquez. Ha-Seong Kim got thrown out again on the bases.
He's a bad base runner.
Is there a record for how many outs you can have on the bases in a season? Because he's approaching it.
Definitively say he is a bad base runner, and it's not good.
And can we definitively say this whole, hey, I'm all for aggressiveness? Like, you know what? I'm all for smart. Like, I prefer smart base running to aggressive base running. I really do. Running into outs.
He got all this one.
Doesn't make – and Kyle Schwarber, man.
Oh, God.
Again, here's the one thing I said last night, and I'll say it again. I don't know what that was.
That was like a groan.
Oh. I said this last night. You know what? Because of the state of the National League wildcard race, Like
Who cares?
they lose this series and they go 1-5 on the strip. Okay. Okay. They
Yeah.
come home a half game out of a playoff spot. Wow.
But it's not like, again, I don't see how you as a team and franchise are going to be like, everything's okay.
No, you're right about it. You're right about it.
Which they might say.
Right.
If you know, you know, Costa. I just don't think us sitting here saying everything's fine, if this team happens to have like an 0 for road trip here, is what fans are going to want to hear or what fans are feeling.
Right. Oh, it's early. And look at the National League. They're only game out.
They'll get it going here sooner or later.
Right.
They'll get hot. Manny will turn it around.
Darvish is coming back.
Yeah. They'll make a trade.
They'll make a trade. Yeah.
Like
I know.
Fans are quickly like getting over this. They are not going to be sitting here just thinking to themselves, even if you have an 0 for road trip, everything's fine.
I agree with you. All right, on the other side, he's not actually going to retire, is he? Plus, later this hour, your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. You should. It's going on now at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. You'll have your chance to win in about 20 minutes. But he's not actually going to retire, is he? The latest there. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right, he's not actually going to retire, is he? Plus, we've got a ticket giveaway for the San Diego County Fair coming up.
This update's brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Padres Phillies game 1 underway in Philadelphia. Phillies lead the Padres 2-0. Top of the 4th inning there. And tonight, game 5 of the NBA Finals. Mavericks are looking to extend it back to Dallas for a game 6, while the Celtics are looking to close out the Mavs tonight and win their first championship in over a decade and 18th championship in franchise history. 5:30 tip-off time in Boston. Shop Macy's Backstage today for amazing deals on everything you need for summer. Get low prices every day at Macy's Backstage. Find a store near you at macy'sbackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily.
The San Diego County Fair coming up in about 15 minutes. Also, our iHeartRadio Music Festival back September 20th and 21st. T-Mobile in Vegas, live performances by Keith Urban, New Kids on the Block, the Black Crowes, and more. Now's your chance to buy tickets at AXS.com. Get them now before they sell out. Where were you 30 years ago tonight?
Ooh, it's a great question.
Jim was like 4. He was like sucking on his thumb in PJs, sleeping.
What?
But for the rest of our, you probably were.
30 years ago tonight?
Where were you 30 years ago tonight? Brent, do you know what I'm talking about? Jim doesn't know. Jim, Mr. Pop Culture, are you kidding?
Was it the OJ?
Yeah, the chase was 30 years ago right now during the NBA Finals.
Knicks and Rockets, game 3.
And you were watching like Bluey.
Probably.
I don't think Bluey existed.
I was watching probably like Power Rangers.
Probably the Red Power Ranger.
Yeah, I
you
was.
just had a picture with.
It happened at night, though.
I know. Well, it was 8 o'clock Eastern. So
it was daytime in LA.
Yeah, it was daytime in LA. Well, so it was something like that. It was
like
within
5 o'clock.
It was like 30,
yeah.
exactly. It was like an hour from now. So that was 30 years ago tonight. The chase and the NBA Finals and the cut-in on television. It was one of the biggest news stories of my lifetime.
The lower third as the game was going on, and you have the chase on the screen because there's an amazing 30 for 30 on ESPN where they document like that day.
Yes, I know. I've seen that. That's really good.
You had the U.S. Open. You had game whatever of the NBA Finals.
Sunday.
You had the chase. Obviously, it's centered around that. You had the Stanley Cup final. I think the Rangers were having either they were clinching it then or what or something. And then I think in baseball, something happened in baseball too. I think it was like a Ken Griffey Jr.
And the
did
Power
something.
Rangers.
And then Power Rangers was on. That day, as far as in the sports world goes, there was a lot happening on that day.
Dude, I remember it vividly. I mean, it
Oh,
was
wow.
when they cut into the NBA Finals.
You're
It was
old.
like, wait, what? it was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a
And people were mad at the time. Like, you're cutting into the NBA Finals.
I would say that moment kind of changed the world as far as media coverage goes, and like everything about that media coverage and that trial and that chase and everything.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Changed
a lot.
Everything.
It did.
Because now people were so, I mean, what? OJ? No.
I know,
And
it's
everybody
crazy.
was just fixated on this chase and the trial. I mean, dude, imagine if social media was around back then. Oh my God.
Yeah, it would have been big.
I remember I was playing World Series baseball on my Genesis, and I flipped over the channel quick to see what the score was,
Huh.
and I just saw the Bronco driving down the freeway,
Like,
and I'm like,
what?
Nordberg?
Yeah, no, I remember watching
'Cause,
the NBA
you know,
Finals.
To me, I was born in '80, so for me, OJ was the dude from the Naked Gun movie. So it's like, why is Nordberg being chased by the police?
Yeah, it was crazy. All right, so Charles Barkley obviously has been one of the biggest media figures in sports for the last 20 years. You could absolutely argue that his media career has surpassed his playing career, and he was a damn good player.
Hall of Famer.
But he's one of the most highly regarded broadcasters in American sports broadcasting history. I think that's fair. And he drops this on Friday night on NBA TV.
A Friday night news dump.
And this could change everything.
Yeah, I've been thinking, guys, I want to say this because you guys are my family. I really love TNT, all the people who work here, NBA television. You guys been great to me for 24 years. And I just want to say thank you to my entire NBA family. I love you guys. You know, there's been a lot of noise around our network the last few months. And I just want to say, I've talked to all the other networks, but I ain't going nowhere other than TNT. But I have made the decision myself, no matter what happens, next year is going to be my last year on television. And I just want to say thank you to my NBA family. You guys been great to me. My heart is full with joy and gratitude. But I'm going to pass the baton at the end of next year. I hope the NBA stays with TNT. But for me personally, I wanted you guys to hear from me because I'm not doing any more interviews. Don't y'all be calling me. Nobody calling me. I'm not talking about this again, but I want to tell my NBA and NBA TV and TNT family that I'm not going to another network, but I'm going to pass the baton to either Jamal Crawford or Vince Carter or you, Steve. But next year, I'm going to just retire after 25 years, and I just want to say thank you, and I wanted y'all to hear from me first.
So that was quite a dump, like you said, news dump, from Charles
That was a
Barkley.
big dump.
Phrasing.
Do we buy it? Do we buy it? Now, he has said before he's going to retire and he's not going to do it into like his 70s. But I mean, still, I mean, someone's going to throw a lot of money in front of him. I'm talking about a lot of money.
I think he's going to retire because no network, especially NBC being, basic TV and not cable, is going to let him get away with as much stuff as what TNT does. And that's what makes Chuck great. And I don't think he's going to want to go on a network where they're constantly going to be censoring him and telling him what he can and can't say. I think for him, he'd rather just announce it now and then just do a little, farewell tour next year and just, TNT's losing it. Otherwise, I think if TNT was going to had a shot, I think he would stay. But I think he'll just he'll go down with the ship.
He's not retiring from media. He will be
We'll
doing
do like a production company or something. Yeah.
He's not going to just never be heard from again. He will be doing something because somebody will pay him a lot of money, and money talks. And if you're Charles Barkley, you put the 2 and 2 there, like it's gonna happen. I don't think they're gonna be doing like the TV studio show. I believe him on that, because if the NBA goes to NBC, I mean the NBC is going to be just ridiculed every time for their live in studio show not being as good as Inside the NBA. So I think he will be doing something, but I agree that this, even if TNT gets it back, I think he's just gonna, which I don't think they will. I think he's just gonna go do something else.
So it was reported earlier this year that his current 10-year deal with TNT pays him upwards of 100 for all 10 years, the neighborhood of 10 a year. It was reported also earlier this year, before this announcement, that he could make in the neighborhood of 20 per year as a free agent. I would argue that number that might be low. Like, if you really put someone against the wall, you're a new network getting back in, you're NBC, you're Amazon, and you have a chance to lure him over, then maybe you just blow that number out of the water. I mean, look at what Tom Brady's getting. I know it's the NFL, but I mean, this is Charles Barkley. Like, again, maybe it's not about money. He's made a lot of money as a player and as a broadcaster, and maybe he does want to ride off into the sunset, but it's hard. It's like hard to say no to the Lakers. Now, Dan Hurley did it. It's hard to say no to $20+ million a year.
I just think that he's not going to want to do it if he can't just speak his mind and say what he wants to say. If he's going to have to sit there and just be a muted, watered down version of himself, I think he'd rather just stay home and, make a cameo appearance here and there during games, or show up on that stupid Kevin Hart thing that they do on ESPN or something like that. But
he will be doing something. I know that. It's hard to envision Charles Barkley not getting his voice out there in some aspect.
Golf?
No, not golf. No, not golf. He's too valuable to that.
Well, what do you
space.
Could you see like a David Letterman? My next guest is. He was just a guest on this, by the way, this season.
Oh, yeah,
like some type of. He's gonna oversee some type of production house that produces content. He'll have a portion of the content.
He'll have a podcast of some sort, which I think he already has a podcast,
probably
with Ernie. He'll be doing something. I don't.
No,
I don't believe it will be the like studio show after games, like breaking down the games. But a podcast with Charles Barkley could get some big time sponsorship money, and it's on his own terms, and he owns the whole thing, and kind of like a Pat McAfee situation where they started just their own podcast and it became huge on like YouTube or whatever. But
yeah, absolutely,
he's going to be doing something. He will be still using his voice, and his voice will still be out there for clips and funny things, but it will not be the same, unfortunately. Like, it won't be the same as a live, post game studio show like Inside the NBA, where anything could happen and it just turned into the best show for like a sports post game show, the best in television.
Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Plus, you have next year. At the very least, you have another season of the NBA, Inside the NBA on TNT. All right, call right now. Who wants a free 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair?
Me.
Exactly. So call right now if you want a free 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. First 2 callers will be contestants to play our trivia game. 877-767-4760. Great giveaway. Fair is underway in Del Mar. The weather is spectacular for the next couple of weeks. 877-767-4760. First 2 callers will be our contestants on Trainwreck Radio. That's trivia for a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. That's next. of the Phillies Padres game at this point? Is there someone wearing a Phillies hat with a Padres jersey on? It's basically the highlight. You haven't missed much. 3-0 Phillies game 1 through 4.
Tell me you don't know baseball without telling me you don't know baseball. You just went and probably bought a Phillies hat or whatever. And
that's a weird combo. Like, hey, let me wear my Phillies hat and Padres City Connect jersey. Okay. Anyway, Padres, remember, they're trying to end the 3-game losing streak, the 7-game road losing streak.
Yeah.
Against all odds in Philadelphia.
Against all odds.
Against this very good Phillies team, are 27-10 at home. Unfortunately, it's not gone well early. It's 3-0 Phillies. The Padres have either grounded into or run into 3 double plays in 4 innings.
Not great.
Right.
Not great, John. It's the opposite of good.
Right.
Which is bad.
It's still early. It's only the 5th inning, so we'll see if they've got a comeback in them here tonight. Padres and Phillies from Citizens Bank Park. All right. Coming up, let's see here. Let's get to this.
All right, 3 questions, 2 contestants, 1 lifeline. Today's 2 contestants, we have Shay and we have Dennis. Shay, you called in first, so you have your choice of John or Jim. Who do you want to go with?
My first name is John, so let's go with John.
All right, wait. Is it so it's John and John, not Shay?
Shay's my last name. I just figured it'd be easy.
Oh, Shay's good. Okay, let's go with Shay.
Shay is actually easier.
Yeah, I like it. Thank you, Shay.
All right. Dennis, you get me, okay?
Oh, yeah. Let's do this.
All right. Brent, what is the question of the day?
All right, guys. Did you know that the Padres are playing the Phillies?
Anything.
What's that?
Hello.
Hi, we've got you.
Hello.
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 Yeah, they were playing the Phillies.
Something wrong with the phone. I can't hear a thing.
Who is this? Is this Dennis?
Yes, that's Dennis.
Okay,
you guys
Dennis,
hear us?
Dennis, if you can hear us, call back. Or if someone wants to win a free 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair, call 877-767-4760 right now.
I can't hear a thing, guys.
All right, 877-767-4760. Who wants a free 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair? This is why we call it Trainwreck Radio.
Yeah.
Dennis, call back, or someone call right now if you want a chance to win a free 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. 877-767-4760. Play some trivia, win a free 4-pack of tickets. Here we go. Calls are coming in. Who wants to win? Never a dull moment, Jim.
I know there's been like some technical issues with this stuff today, so I'm not
right.
surprised.
True. So you're saying it might be on our side? But
Probably.
Shay can hear.
John, everything's always on our side. I'm not going to blame the caller. I'm not going to blame the
Okay.
listener.
Okay. Just going to laugh.
I'm just going to sit here and laugh.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Shay can hear.
Shay, guess can hear.
And
Dennis,
let's see who we have back.
Dennis could not hear.
All right. Brent's got our second contestant. Shay is with me. The new caller is with Jim. And the new caller's name, Brent, is
Lindsay.
Lindsay and Jim.
All right.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Lindsay, can you hear us?
Hi.
Hi. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Perfect.
Cool.
Brent, what's the question of the day?
All right, for starters, first, Lindsay, your partner is Jim today, okay?
Hi, Jim.
Hi, Lindsay.
Yeah, we need to tell them that this stuff, Jim. Okay, guys. Today's question. Thank you for being patient, Shay. Today's question: the Padres and the Phillies are meeting this week in Philadelphia right now. Matter of fact, today's question: can you name the 10 players in Phillies history that have hit 200 or more home runs with the Phillies? So there's 10 players on the Phillies history that have 200 or more home runs. Name them.
Okay.
All right.
Are we going to
10 players on Phillies history.
In Phillies history with 200 or more home runs. We're going to go back and forth here.
Yeah, Lindsay will go first.
Lindsay's going to go first. You do have a lifeline if you want to use it for one of your 3 rounds or picks. But we go back and forth here. So you start, Lindsay.
Free pass.
Free pass. Okay, you want to go with your lifeline and ask Jim?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jim.
Okay.
Can you name a Philly that has hit 200 home runs or more as a Philly?
Ryan Howard, do you take that?
Yes.
Okay, Ryan Howard. That is correct. So Lindsay's got the early 1-0 lead.
Shay, you are up next. What's your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Chase Utley.
Chase
Chase Utley
Utley.
with 200 in his career, Brian, I'll say yes. And I would be incorrect. Is that no? He's not. I was going to say
fake
that.
out.
He's on there.
Okay, I was going to
The
say.
fake out.
All right,
All right.
we're tied up.
Lindsay, you're up next. What's your next guess? You don't have a lifeline, so it's all up to you. What do you got?
Oh gosh, I cannot even. I can tell you only Padres.
Okay. Okay, but you
it's
haven't
fine.
lost yet
You haven't
because
lost
Shay still has
yet.
to get a correct answer. Otherwise, we'd go to overtime. Now,
Yeah.
Shay, can you get a correct answer here? Essentially for the win because Lindsay doesn't have an answer.
Correct. What do you got here?
Mike Schmidt.
Mike Schmidt, does he have 200? Yes, he's got 500, and I want to say 48. And that is for a win for Shay. So thank you, Shay and Lindsay, for participating.
What are you, a Phillies fan or something?
Okay, so let's see. Mike Schmidt, 548. Who else is on this list? You said Utley. You said Howard. Greg Lazinski's on this list.
Is Schwarber almost? No, Schwarber's not there.
No.
Well, he's gonna get there eventually.
I would think.
Harper?
He's not there yet.
No,
not yet. Not yet.
I'm looking at you for these answers.
Because, okay.
I don't know, because you lived there.
I did.
You
I
used
was
to
born
be a
there.
Phillies fan. You know the exact number of home runs that Schmidt has.
This is good. This is good, Brent. This is very good. Honestly, I'm stuck on Greg Luzinski, Ryan Howard, Chase. Jimmy Rollins doesn't have 200, does he?
Yes, he does.
Jason Worth?
No. So it's Schmidt, Ryan Howard, Dale Ennis.
Okay.
Dale Ennis, Pat Burrell, Chuck Klein, Chase Utley, that Greg guy you just said, Cy Williams, Jimmy Rollins, and then Dick Allen.
All right, that is your list, which means, Shay, you have won a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. Going on now through July 7th, Del Mar Fairgrounds. Let's look back, have some fun together, and go retro. For tickets and info, go to sdfair.com. In hour 3, your chance to win a pair of tickets to see the Doobie Brothers, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater on June 25th. Jim's back page is still ahead. Hour 3 of Jon and Jim comes your way next.
This update's brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Phillies Padres, game 1 of their 3-game series. Bottom 5. Phillies lead 3-1 over the Padres. And game 5 tonight, NBA Finals, tips off in about a half hour from now in Boston as the Celtics are looking to win the NBA championship. It'll be their first in over a decade and 18th as a franchise. Meanwhile, the Mavericks are looking to send this thing back to Dallas for game 6. Shop Macy's Backstage today for amazing deals on everything you need for summer. Get low prices every day at Macy's Backstage. Find a store near you at macysbackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily.
That's why. San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? It's hour 3 of Jon and Jim. We are with you until 6 p.m. We'll get you ready for game 5 of the NBA Finals. Jim just touched on it. Obviously, win or go home for Dallas, trailing 3-1. The series will shift to Boston here tonight and tip off in about 30 minutes. We also are keeping an eye on the Phillies and the Padres underway at Citizens Bank Park. Now, Jim used to have a superpower where he would criticize a Padre on social media, and that would lead to the Padre having an amazing performance or stretch.
Yeah.
So that hasn't necessarily worked with Manny Machado this year. Not that you've been overly critical, but you've had a couple of tweets maybe out there about Manny's lack of performance.
I haven't said much on social media about
not much
Manny. I mean, I did question how he couldn't hustle down the line on Friday night in New York because he's quote unquote injured, but yet he can play third base the next day. Was interesting to me.
Okay, fair. So we talked about that Friday, and we talked about Manny extensively in the first 30 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
He got ejected. They were swept. The Friday situation that played out with the whatever it was, injury or hustle or whatever, a combination of that. Well, today,
carrying the team on
in
his
Philadelphia, yes, the Phillies lead 3-1 in the bottom of the 5th inning, but Manny Machado is 2 for 2.
Without his hustle to second there, he doesn't score, and the Padres don't get on the board here.
Right. The Padres have an unearned run because the center fielder overran a ball that led to the extra base. So Manny has scored. He is 2 for 2. And again, do we want to see power? Do we want to see them win? Yeah, we want to see it all, but we'll take the 2 for 2 start for Manny, and we'll see if he provides something bigger later in this game. I mean, the Padres, this, goes without saying, they could use it. At some point, you got to win on the road. They've lost 7 consecutive road games. It'll be hard enough to win this series.
They were the best road team in baseball just a week and 2 weeks ago
when they were in Kansas City.
They were about to go 20-10 on the road and be 3 games over 500, heading to Anaheim to face the worst home team in all of baseball. And the wheels completely fell off.
Mm-hmm.
Completely fell off. This team has gone from one of the best road teams in baseball to still a good road team, good record-wise, but not as good as they were before.
Yeah, and I mean, these 3 games, you're facing Ranger Suarez, who's one of the best pitchers in the sport, a left-hander who's 10-1. You're facing a left-handed starter here tonight. They've had a lot of struggles, as we know, against left-handed starting pitching. So this ain't easy, to put it lightly. Of the 2 series, the one you were supposed to win was the New York Mets. And now you've put yourself behind the 8 ball, getting swept by New York, and you're trying to do something that's not easy for anyone. They're 27-10 at home, Philadelphia. Now you got to go there. You don't have to, but you'd like to see the Padres go there and win a series, and that's not going to be easy to do, obviously. Then what happens if you get home off a 1-5 trip or something?
Philadelphia would take it.
No, because I don't. Because that's no. I mean, I just roll the dice. I don't whatever. If they don't win a game, they don't win a game.
So you come home 2 games under 500, 3.
No, they'd be 4 under 500 if they don't win a game.
No, I meant. Oh, they would. Oh yeah, right. They'd be only 2 games under if they win at least 1.
If they go to 3, they'd be 500.
Oh, they lose 3 straight. They're 4 under.
I'm not signing up for anything right now because whatever. Are you signing up for a 1-5 trip?
No, but I'm not. I didn't say that on Friday. I'm saying that right now. I think I might look long and hard at hey, if they get a game here, I'd be happy with it because you're facing 2 lefties. You're facing right now the guy who is the best pitcher in baseball in Ranger Suarez, or one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Definitely.
And oh, by the way, he's a lefty. And you're facing, I think, Aaron Nola tomorrow.
Yeah, who, oh, by the way, is one of the top pitchers in baseball.
Yeah. So you tell me right now,
okay,
they
maybe
they get at least 1 game out of the next.
So you're taking it?
I think I might.
So you're going to take, and I'm not going to fight you on it. You'll just take get one, get home. You're 2 under, live to see another day.
Yeah, because to what you have been saying, that
you're not going to be buried.
That doesn't hurt you at all. Win one game. Now it will be viewed as a horrific road trip,
right.
And the team will get crushed as they should and criticized as they should.
Well, it's going to be tough to win tonight because they're trailing 6-1. Now they trailed yesterday 7-1 and they got back into it. It's going to be tough to win here tonight.
Would you take one game now?
Yeah, now I would.
Now you would.
Because I'm thinking to myself, well, this is only 3-1.
If the alternative is 0 games, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's just,
dude.
I mean, first of all,
you have to almost like laugh from crying, like laugh to keep yourself from crying because of how just frustrating this team will make you.
You're right. Because by the way, the other team, we always say this. Remember in February, Jim, we spent so much time. We were reading articles and looking at blog posts and watching podcasts and watching television. Oh, it's different. And here's why. Oh, Xander Bogaerts moved to second base. Everything's fixed. Manny's back healthy. Just go through all the whatever. They traded Soto, but they addressed needs, right? Like we heard everything under the sun. And at the end of the day, they are the exact same team. In what regard? Record. They're not the exact same team. They do things differently. They've gotten here in a different way than last year's team. You could argue that last year's team was more disappointing. That's fine. But Jim, they're the same team. They're 37. What's the record right now?
Here's something that's really funny.
Okay,
so I'm gonna look it up right here.
Okay.
And I can't wait until he posts it because he's been waiting to do this. Our boy Mincy on Twitter.
Okay.
And this was talked about a lot last year at this exact same time. Last year's team at this exact same time was, guess what their record was, John?
Either two under after tonight, Jim, or something like that.
37-39. What will the record be after tonight's game?
37-39.
Okay. Remember last year when Padres TV decided to go full on just what was the word I'm looking for? Homerism, I guess.
Wait,
I don't know.
Wait, remind me, what are you talking about?
You'll know this graphic.
Okay.
You'll know this graphic very well. Last year, 37-39. What did Padres TV decide to do? Guys, the Nationals were 37-39. They won the World Series.
Right.
Does that happen again?
Well, does it happen that they're going to win the World Series?
No,
or we get that graphic?
Does that graphic make its way back on television?
Probably. Right. Maybe not. Maybe the lessons learned because they went 37-39 last year and they didn't make the playoffs. So I don't know. Maybe. I don't put anything past anyone. But isn't that amazing? All this energy, all this talk. We've spent so much. I mean, I'm guilty as charged. I've talked about it. I feel as if this team ultimately has different characteristics than last year's team. I have felt that at times, but it's an end result business. You've heard me say that a million times. That's all that matters. How many times have you heard us say, if at the end of the year you go 80-82 and Jackson Merrill is top 3 in National League Rookie of the Year voting, that's great. But does anyone really care? It's a great individual story for Jackson Merrill. As in, the point is the point, which is you got to win. It's the big leagues, and right now they're not winning. It's a problem.
It's yeah. I mean, it's just what they are. They're a bad baseball team. Actually, not take that back. They're not a bad baseball team. They're not a good baseball team. That's what it is. They're not bad. They're just not good. They're in that gray middle area. And I will continue to say, if this is the bar that this team is doing everything in their power to jump over, that's embarrassing.
Well, they still can't jump over.
Well, I know. I'm saying they're trying to jump over it, which is the lowest common bar you can have, which is if you're 500 in the National League this year, you have a pretty damn good chance of making the postseason. And if you go out there and you parade this, if this happens as a good thing, oh my God.
Well, how else would you parade it? If you're the organization, if they made the postseason at 82-80, what would your position be? You're going to walk into Eric Katsenda's office as the marketing director. You're going to say, "I have an idea, Eric. Do not think of celebrating this."
But no, John, that's not.
That is
when you ask the question. I'm not a marketing director. I am If I'm a fan,
right,
it's completely different. As a fan, that's unacceptable to me.
But
as a
we
marketing
don't
director, it's
know.
great. Marketing director, it works out perfectly.
But we don't know because we're looking way down the pipeline of 82 and 80 and then a exit. Or even making it at 82 and 80.
So
they might not make it.
What's likelier to happen, John? They make it in at 82 and 80 and they get swept or losing 3 games in a wild card,
right?
Or they make it in 82 and 80 and they go to the World Series. What's more likely?
Well, based on the last 2 years of National League data, one is not more likely than the other. I'm not saying they're going to the World Series, make no mistake, but there's no a guarantee
what would
that
you
if they
bet
make
on?
it in.
What would you bet on?
Just like you asked me, would I take a game?
What would you bet on?
I can't make any bets June 15th.
No, I'm telling you, if that were to happen, what would you bet on? I don't care about the marketing director. I don't care about the front office. I don't care about ticket sales. I care about the fan base, and I care about the expectations that this franchise has put on this team.
I agree. So
which is better than 82 and 80.
You are offering your opinion, which is your job and fair to do. But how can you tell people how to react to it?
I am telling you how I'm reacting to it.
Exactly. But you're saying it would be pathetic if it was celebrated, correct?
I would say by the team, yes. If it's celebrated by the team.
Team in the clubhouse, like if they clinch on the last day of the season to get to 82 and 80 or 81 and 81, they're drinking Budweiser. They're required by Major League Baseball.
Oh my God, dude, that's a visual that I mean, 82 and 80 teams just popping bottles.
I mean, they've done it before.
We get it as the 6th seed.
They did. Now they won a division twice with 82 wins, right? Or something like that, 83 wins.
But that's a division.
Okay.
Still.
I mean, the point is the point. I don't know what I know what you're saying, but I'm just saying who knows? It's June 17th.
So,
I can't tell you I can't tell you how to feel if they make the postseason at 82 and 80.
You said to start the show, the worst possible place to be in the National League is the 7th seed.
Awful.
And they make it by 1 game over the 7th seed.
That's way better. Because it's black and white. The team that won 84 games last year, and I saw play terrible baseball in August, was named the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm just saying, things happen.
They do happen.
I'm not saying it's gonna happen with these Padres. Make no mistake. I'm not putting up like my paycheck on the Padres making a World Series run.
Yeah, let's just say right now, I would not be betting on these Padres.
No, I agree with you.
I am in a you're gonna have to prove it mentality for the rest of the season. There is no, well, they need to take advantage of this series. There is no if they just start playing good baseball. There is no you got to prove it. You got to prove it. And until otherwise, your record is what your record is, which is you are a under 500 team.
By the way, the bullpen is so taxed because that you're throwing A-team high leverage guys in low leverage situations tonight, like Adrian Morejon is pitching in a 6-1 game. The issue here, because you can't pitch Stephen Kolek every night, and you can't pitch name whomever else, Daniel De Los Santos every night. I don't even know if he's available or not. They even used Jeremiah Estrada yesterday. The issue here is you are now taking away reliable relievers potentially from your arsenal for tomorrow. Because if Adrian Morejon has to go, an inning plus here tonight, maybe he doesn't. This is a bad trip, putting it lightly. And you've gotten yourself in trouble. It's one thing to lose. It's another thing to tax your bullpen like this. Because now if you do have a lead later in the series, you question how they're going to navigate it with their bullpen.
Again, as I said at the top of the show today, please don't let this affect your guys' lives out there.
Yes, exactly.
It's hard enough to watch this team every night and give your hopes up all the time, but don't let it affect your guys' lives. It's beautiful out here in San Diego, great weather, great food, great things to do. The Padres shouldn't make you this upset, guys. Don't let them do that to you. Don't give them the satisfaction of ruining your guys' nights and days. And I get it. That's the life of a sports fan. The sports fan is mad half the year and happy the other half of the year. And if your team sucks, then you're mad most of the time unless you just don't care anymore. And it is a vicious cycle as a sports fan. But what this team has done to you guys the last 2+ years,
56.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
kind of,
true,
but more so the last three of the last 4 years. Three of the last 4 years has made everybody in this town as a fan of the Padres absolutely freaking miserable.
Dude, if you've been around since the start of it, though, and some of you have, and we've got callers that call in that have, like Dave, I mean,
it's tough, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry because you all deserve so much better. And the team is trying, but they're just failing miserably at it.
Listen, it's never as bad as it seems. It's never as good. This thing is so far from determined. No one has any. I know, it's crazy. I mean, they'll be a half game out of a playoff spot with a loss. Well, maybe.
Like Johnson, you can't either way because it's like the old hyper quote of just you think you have all the answers, like oh, you all the questions, and as soon as we start to think that we have this team figured out, then they just go and do the complete opposite of what we think we have them back for.
It is what it is right now, and I'm sure you'll get some like BS glazing answers from the Schulte post game.
Some good defense. Profar catching foul territory. How about Tatis? How about Kim's relay?
See Manny's hustle there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that post game. We'll have a wrap up way
right
at 9:30. There's also Game 5 of the NBA Finals off in about 15 minutes. Now Dallas had their backs against the wall before, and they blew out Boston. I don't think we learn a lot from it. Boston didn't need it. They can win at home. They'll actually have multiple opportunities if they need it to win at home. So it's Game 5. The Celtics are 6.5-point favorites, or were this afternoon. What do you got, bro?
I almost feel like Boston was just like, yeah, I want to win it at home. So
maybe
if
we'll find
lose
out
today, we lose, and then they just went out there and half-assed.
Do you think that happened in Game 4? Like they were okay with kind of laying an egg? It's not the worst thing in the world. You get a chance to win at home. You haven't won since what, 2008?
Yeah, I don't think that.
That's by 38.
Yeah, and it's one of those just like natural things that happens to a team when you're up 3-0. One of the games you just kind of let slide.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like they're going up against a bad Dallas team. They got two like generational players on it in Luka and Kyrie.
Right.
It's kind of hard to have them not have at least one good game in the series, because I don't view Boston as this like generational team. Even the Lakers, when they went 15-1 in the postseason in the early 2000s, had that Game 1 loss to the Sixers. Even the Warriors in 2017, when they went 16-1 in the postseason, had that Game 4 loss to the Cavs. Like it just kind of happens when you know that it's kind of over. You can dictate a little bit of how things are going to go on your terms, but they have to win tonight because then pressure will go right back on the Celtics. But I just don't think they're going to lose tonight. I just don't. They're kind of unstoppable at home.
Well, and the truth is, you mentioned it earlier in the series, this team has been elite this postseason. They still have only lost 3 games in 4 series. This team is
home
legit.
Loss in, I think road loss in 10 games.
Playoff games.
Yeah,
that's real. I mean, so they've been great. And the truth is, we said this earlier in the series, there was all this criticism of Luka for him arguing with the officiating, and we looked at each other like, okay, fair, but maybe Boston's just better. Not maybe. They've been the better team. And now, I would say this, if you're Dallas tonight, just do everything you can to give yourself a chance, because I feel like the pressure will be on Boston to close it out, to your point.
Yes.
If you can stay within 3 into the fourth quarter, and then you take a 2-point lead midway through it, and then, like, the longer you are in this thing, maybe they'll crack, and they feel a little bit of that pressure. But if Boston plays from ahead all night long, and you're trailing, by 7-11 all night long, I just feel like good luck.
Because if you're going to that game as a Celtics fan tonight, there is nobody in that building that is like really nervous. Everyone's going tonight.
Right. Celebration.
For the celebration. Everyone's talking about, dude, can't believe we're going to win the title tonight. And if they don't, and it's close in the fourth quarter, or if the Mavericks have a lead in the fourth quarter late, a lot of people there will pucker up, and it will get tight. And you got to win it tonight, because if it goes to Game 7, oh my God.
This is the 16th anniversary to the day of the Celtics beating the Lakers in 6 games, 131-92. So 16th anniversary of them winning their last NBA Finals. It was today. You may recall Kevin Garnett 26.
Anything is possible.
Listen to this. Listen to this. Garnett, 26. Ray Allen, 26. Rajon Rondo, 21. Paul Pierce, 17.
Yeah, I remember that series.
It was 16 years ago today. The Celtics last winning a title.
Wow.
So, yeah, things are lining up pretty well, I would say, for Boston. But again, you never say never. With stars, like Luka can take over a game. He can score 40 points in a game.
He's going to have to. And to Luka's credit, he played fantastic in game 4. Defense, offense, controlled the game, under control, wasn't bitching to the refs all the time.
Right.
And look what happened. They blew the doors off Boston. Now, I don't think Boston was truly in it.
Right.
They're kind of like,
once they were down.
Like, once they're down,
Yeah.
like, this is regroup. We're going to win it at home anyway, type of feeling. But you're going to need that Luka and that Mavericks team for the rest of the series. And tonight is tonight's everything for the Mavericks, obviously, because if they lose, it's over. But you win tonight, then the pressure
it's a real series.
Firmly back on Boston.
Boston wins tonight. How prohibitive of a favorite are they for next year? Like, does it become likely that they go back to back?
A lot of things happen.
I know, but Tatum and Brown will be back.
Yeah.
So that's your starting point.
Well, Giannis will be back. Dame Lillard will be back. Embiid will be healthy-ish.
Wow.
Probably not.
Right.
But
no, I get your point, but I'm saying, doesn't Boston
Ben
start?
Simmons will be back.
Yeah, don't they start from the lead position?
They will, yeah.
They even with the West. Is there a?
The West has a lot of young talent, and like the OKCs, Denver's still there with Jokic, even though
Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota.
Yep.
So like we'll see.
Is Dallas going to do this again?
I don't view the Celtics as a dynasty, is what you're trying to
No, not dynasty. I'm just wondering, are they the prohibitive favorite to go back to back? But probably not. They may be a favorite, but not like some foregone conclusion. They're at the top of the mountain. It'll be hard to knock them off. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't.
They've been the best team in the East for a long while over the last handful of years. They just haven't gotten to this spot until now.
Right.
So we'll see.
All
right. On the other side, an update from Philadelphia, where the Padres and Phillies are playing game 1 of their 3-game series. Also on the other side, we will give away tickets to see the Doobie Brothers. This is at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. It's coming up a week from tomorrow, June 25th. Next Tuesday night, we have 2 free tickets to see the Doobie Brothers at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Again, this is coming up on June 25th. Jim's back. Page is still ahead. An update from Philadelphia. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right, so imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free with no credit cards or car loan or personal loans. Hey, guys, it's Schaefer. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home, and you can use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner is saving over $850 a month doing this. Imagine what you'd be doing with an extra $850 a month in your pocket. Your home value's way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards, get some money for home improvement potentially, literally hundreds of thousands at your fingertips. Approval just minutes away. Here's the number to call. 619-207-4336. Again, 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. That's 619-207-4336. NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Well, not great for the Padres. This update's brought to you by Macy's Backstage. It's now one Phillies as Kyle Schwarber has hit his second home run of the game. NBA Finals tips off moments from Boston. The Celtics are looking to close out the Mavericks and win their first NBA title in 16 years, 18th overall. Mavericks are looking to force a Game 6 back in Dallas. Shop Macy's Backstage today for amazing deals on everything you need for summer. Get low prices every day at Macy's Backstage. Find a store near you at Macy'sBackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily.
Only a few years ago, Jim, you may recall those Washington Nationals in a very similar spot as your San Diego Padres. This exact moment, 37 and 39. I don't know if you knew that. And you know what they did in 2019, Jim? They won the World Series.
No way, John.
So what I'm saying is there's no guarantee of anything. We talked about this 20 minutes ago. Last year, Padres had the same record as the Nationals team that won the World Series. They put it on TV. Well, it didn't come to fruition. This year, are we going to get the same graphic? Who knows? Even without the graphic.
You know what's funny is
I'm not that confident it's going to happen.
That graphic was posted, and that was a very tumultuous to get to that point, 37 and 39. Do you feel the same way? Do you feel like it's
tumultuous?
Like, do you feel like from 37 and 39 last year to 37 and 39 this year,
more or less tumultuous?
Yeah,
tumultuous. I'd say less,
which is crazy.
It's still on. It's now towards the side of getting tumultuous.
Yeah, because it's
this will be an 8th straight road loss.
Like there was more anger last year at 37 and 39 than there is this year at 37 and 39, but there's still a good amount of it.
Dude, your payroll last year, and again,
250
was 250. I mean, you were top 3 in payroll. You had Juan Soto. This year's team has taken $100 million off their payroll. I mean, that's what they've done. They can spend it any way they want. They've taken roughly $100 million off the payroll. And they're the same team. I don't know if that's to their credit or not. What is Mike Schilt going to say tonight after this game? 844-57, or excuse me, 877-767-4760 or 70470 started with team.
No, he's not going to alibi it.
He will never alibi it.
No, he'll never alibi.
I will say this tonight. Now there are rules against using position players, but it depends on score. Tonight, a position player is getting broken out.
Yeah, it's a position player type of night. You're right.
Yeah. Because you've used Adrian Morejon for no reason.
None. And he went out there and basically tapped Morejon on the back like you just saved the World Series. So I'm sure that will be brought up as saving the bullpen. And I'm sure the excuse of they've played a lot of games and without any off days will be brought up as well.
So are the other teams, Jim. I want to yell at you.
I'm not saying those things. I'm telling you what Schulte will say.
The Philadelphia Phillies were in London.
I know. They've traveled like 13,000 miles.
Now, the Padres were in Korea 3 months ago.
Oh, okay.
But, and to our collective points, tomorrow, Aaron Nola.
Okay?
Now, Michael King's been good. And then, Ranger Suarez on Wednesday against Matty Walsh, who's been great. Someone has to step up. Like, I don't know if they need to hear from me, but someone has to step up and be elite. Now, it is true. Their pitching has been awful the last 2 days. Like yesterday, you're down 7-1 immediately, right? With Dylan Cease. Today, you're down all night long. 2-0, then 3-0, then 6-1. I said this yesterday in the wrap-up show. No team's offense is built to overcome 7-1 and 6-1. Teams don't win trailing by 5-6 runs. So not to alibi the offense. Stop sneezing. But the pitching's been terrible now the last couple of days.
So is the offense, Sean. It's like the offense is like showing up
They
at all.
scored 6 runs yesterday, Jim.
That was the fakest 6-run comeback I've ever seen.
That's fair. I don't disagree.
Who's witnessing it? Kevin?
Oh, from the local media?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a great question. I mean, maybe one other. I don't know if Dennis or AJ. Maybe one of the other two.
Because my question now is, who reports first the team has a team? Like, who is it going to be? It's going to be
They just had it was the leaders, not the full team. The leaders and then you know what they did? They swept the A's.
Yeah, and then they're
yeah. But if you look at their last 7 games, there's 1-3 and they lost 4. It's weird. It's been very weird. I mean, listen, they asked for it. When you get swept the Mets, are the Mets. That's legitimately.
When's the next team meet? Who holds Who calls for the team meeting? Is it
It's that out.
who calls? Is it Bogey? With the team. It's not in San
Darvish?
Diego. Darvish isn't with the team.
I have no idea, man. I really don't. Like, here's the thing. I don't know if they think it's panic time because it's not panic time.
That's like not a good headspace to be in. They're playing bad baseball. They constantly never. The one thing they're very consistent at is being very inconsistent. Kind of like, and to sit there in that clubhouse and be like, that's just I don't know. That's a bad mentality to have.
Well, I don't know if it's their mentality. There is a possibility where they're like, they look at the newspaper tomorrow, they probably don't read it. They're like, oh, we're a half game out of I don't know. I don't know how they see it. I really don't. I really have no idea how they see it collectively as a team. Who is that primary leader right now with Machado banged up, having a down year, with Bogarts on the IL, Musgrove and Darvish on the IL? It's a fair point. Where do you turn with this team right now? Is it to Manny Machado? I don't know.
Like Manny's going to be that guy. He's never been that guy with the Padres besides 2022.
Right. Like, and I don't think he's the leader I think he's more the example guy than he's the guy that, is he the rah-rah speech guy? Is he calling the 30-minute meeting and speaking for all 30 of those minutes? I have no idea. We'll ask Kevin this week.
He's just not that guy. He's not that guy. It's not all on Manny's shoulders
No,
here.
it's definitely not.
When I say he's not that guy, it's just like that's who your franchise is built around. That's who the leader of your team is, who is not a great leader. Like, it's just what it is. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Like, Profar is more of a guy that I feel like is better equipped to talk to the team than Manny Machado is.
What would you say? Let's pretend I'm calling the team meeting. Okay, it's me. What do you even want me to say? Hey guys, let's hit left-handed pitching. Hey guys, let's win on the road. Hey guys, let's stop getting injured. Hey guys, let's stop falling behind 7-1. I mean, what's my message right now?
Well, apparently, according to Mike Schilt,
Yeah.
the process that they go through every day is A+. Every single at bat, every single approach that they take, pregame, study, film, like everything that they do, John, to get prepared for a baseball game is A+. Why should Mike Schilt be upset when they lose games constantly? Because the approach is great.
That'll be an interesting one for Schilt.
Great.
Yeah, Schilt tonight, it could be an interesting one. Now, to your point, I don't know if that pushback is going to be. Now, Kevin will push back. He will. I've heard the back and forth on Padres.tv after the games. And sometimes it has gotten contentious. I don't know if tonight will be out of Schilt, or maybe it's more. He's a big series guy, so maybe it's at the end of the series. For Mike Schilt, I really don't know. I don't think Schilt is in a head spot where he's going to be confrontational. He's got to know his team's not playing well right now.
We'll find out.
I mean, they've allowed 16 hits to the Phillies today in 6 innings.
And Darnay brings up a good point. Thanks, producer Darnay.
Thank you, Darnay,
for putting this out there. I went back and checked, and the Phillies have the best record in the National League, John.
Yes.
But if you look at the Phillies, they've been in one of their worst stretches of baseball.
Yeah, they're 5-5 in the last 10. They were 3-5 on the road, but they're coming home. It's the wrong time to catch them because they're mad. They got Trey Turner back.
Yeah.
So it's a bad time to catch them.
It is. And you're going up against two lefties, and one of them is right now one of the best lefties in baseball, Ranger Suarez.
And this dude's been pretty good himself. Christian Sanchez, who's pitching the 7th inning.
85 pitches.
With an 8-1 lead. Now, the left-handed pitching problem for the Padres offense is it's the biggest problem they have.
And
that
last
they're
year,
out of games against left-handed starting pitching.
Last year they couldn't hit righties.
Right, like combine the teams and
be
undefeated.
They would be.
Or they wouldn't hit lefties or righties.
They would just be the worst.
Even worse.
It'd be a $250 million payroll, and they win 65 games.
Now, to your point, you made the point earlier. We're like, listen, John, do you really see this team winning the World Series? Well, no. On June 17th, I don't. And you are right. You look at the Phillies, who are about to be 4-0 against the Padres and throwing whomever they're throwing the next 2 days.
These games aren't even close.
And you're like, how could the Padres do it? But I don't know. It's June 17th. But your point's valid. The difference between these two teams is vast.
This team will, I said this on the wrap-up show last night, this team will win 70 games and this team will lose 70 games. It's what they do in the other 22 that will determine their season.
And then what I said was they're going to win 80 games, they're going to lose 80 games. It's what they do in the other 2,
right?
Which could be right. And the 2 games to play the season where they're 80 and 80.
I mean, if you want to go stretch, they could win 75 and they could lose 75, and then it's what they do in the other 12
that are going to determine their season.
Yeah, like if you have a 12-game stretch where you go 8-4 or like 9-3, that could be the stretch of the season where you go, holy crap, that's what got them in the postseason.
It's amazing how long these years are that you can have bad stretches like this. I mean, again, the second half of the season is just as important as what we've seen to this point. They haven't even played half their games.
Every game's important.
Yeah, they haven't even played half their games. So how do I know it's going to happen? But what I do know is that it feels like there's a pretty big difference right now between the Padres and the Phillies. That I do know. So it's June 17th, and it's not, the National League Championship Series.
It's bad, John.
It's bad.
It's not
bad.
great. It's the opposite of good. It's bad.
All right, here's what we're going to do on the other. Well, we're going to give away Doobie Brothers tickets, Jim. It's not that bad. It's good.
No, it's it's a great time right now. Actually.
How about this? Caller 5, you've got free tickets for next Tuesday night to see the Doobie Brothers at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater.
Oh.
Call right now, 877-767-4760. 2 free tickets to caller 5 a week from tomorrow. The weather's great. It's summertime in San Diego. Enjoy it. 877-767-4760. Caller 5, you have 2 free tickets to see the Doobie Brothers next Tuesday night. Jim's back page. That'll come your way next. All right, an update on Padres Phillies plus Jim's back page next. Our iHeartRadio Music Festival is back September 20th and 21st at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Live performances by Keith Urban, New Kids on the Block, the Black Crowes, and more. Now, chance to buy tickets at AXS.com. Get them before they sell out. Here's your update from Philadelphia. It remains not great. Phillies an 8-2 lead. They're in the seventh inning. I think the Phillies have 17 hits in the seventh inning. Chase Randy Vasquez. They chased Adrian Morejon, chasing Johnny Brito. Mama said there'd be days like this. You know, she didn't say there'd be this many, but Mama said there'd be days like this. So game one, it looks like it's going to go to the Phillies. What are you looking like? Oh, okay. You're getting ready for the back page, right?
Yeah, this game's over.
All right. Jim says this game's over. Let's get to it.
All right, John. So we'll start off here since it's the anniversary of the OJ car chase game.
Yeah, which I told you about.
I know. Right now, somebody on eBay is selling a 1994 NBA Finals Game 5 game ticket. All right. This thing graded out to, what is it? Only a 5.
Okay. So it's a ticket from the Rockets Knicks Game 5 during the chase.
During the chase.
Yeah.
Right now.
Remember tickets? They were so cool.
Dude. Yeah.
Like seriously, like
I know.
NBA Finals, World Series.
Well, now with just electronic tickets, these tickets are going to go for way more.
Right.
This thing went on eBay. It's not known what the price for this is going to be, but would you buy that? Would you buy a 1994 Finals, the OJ car chase game?
Now,
ticket?
why wouldn't I? Are you saying would I buy it because of its relevancy?
Well, it's also a very rare item. There's only 29 of these known to be in existence.
Oh, then probably, yeah, it's notable. I mean, so how much is it selling for, did you say?
Did not say as of yet.
But it's going to sell for a good amount.
Probably.
If there's only a couple dozen And it's so relevant and topical, like today specifically.
There's only 29 there.
It's interesting. Yeah, I think it's relevant.
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
The damn Chiefs. Gave out their Super Bowl rings this past weekend.
Oh, don't give me that. And the spelling mistake is on there.
It features 529 diamonds, 38 rubies, but a massive, massive typo.
Not really. The 7 seed for Miami, not the 6 seed.
Yep. So they, on the inside of the ring, have obviously the games the Chiefs played, the score, the team, and then the seed number of that team.
Okay.
They beat the Miami Dolphins last year in the wild card round.
The Peacock game.
Remember,
that was freezing.
It was like negative 50 degrees.
Right.
The Miami Dolphins were a 6 seed, and inside of this ring, it says the number 7. Oof.
I mean, what? Inside the ring.
I mean, that gives me a little bit of joy because of it's like I hate the Chiefs because they keep beating the 49ers in Super Bowls.
Right. Does it almost make it like you guys won the Super Bowl?
No.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't at all.
How much are those things worth?
Oh, hundreds.
All
hundreds
those
of thousands of
diamonds. Yeah, it's amazing.
But yeah, so
okay. Are they going to fix the mistake?
Actually, I take that back right now. It says it's a 14.8 carat ring. And these rings are priced at $40,000
Jeez,
each.
That's a lot of money.
Now they would sell for a lot.
Absolutely.
But yeah, the inside of it is messed up. Neither the team nor the ring manufacturer has publicly commented on the typo or has commented plans to fix it.
You don't think? Why fix it, right? All those rings, you're going to bring them back. I guess you could if they're worth 40 grand or more.
Maybe it will be more like valuable.
Maybe it'll be worth more because it has a flaw in it.
Does Mahomes even care? He's got how many rings? How many Super Bowls has he won?
3.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
He'll just not wear that one.
Exactly. He can wear the others.
A smoked blunt recently sold at an auction featuring Snoop Dogg memorabilia. A blunt smoked by Snoop Dogg, John.
Wow.
Sold at an auction on Sunday night for $4,765.
Was it from the Brewers game?
No.
That you play the audio from?
Was it a roach or was it like how much of the blunt was left?
The joint was preserved in resin inside an ashtray and authenticated by a company which held 2 auctions over the month of Snoop Dogg memorabilia.
How did they authenticate? I wonder. Like
in 2015, a cigar smoked. Oh wait, no, sorry, that's different. I don't know how they authenticate it,
right?
But someone did, and it sold for almost $5,000.
$5 grand.
Yeah.
Like we always say, hey, if we had $1 million, that we talk about the Jordan shoes or like these things. But 5,000, no. Like if I like $5,000 is a lot of money.
Yes,
like I'd prefer to like spend it on. What would I spend it on, Jim? Like a Ken Pom subscription for like a lot of years over buying Snoop Dogg joints.
Correct.
Yeah.
Finally, I just saw this, and I didn't even know this is a thing, but Legos and Star Wars are releasing a new line of Legos based off of a Lego Star Wars movie coming up here in August titled Rebuild the Galaxy.
Jones might be into that. He loves Legos. He doesn't know about Star Wars.
So basically, this is a Star Wars movie, kind of like the What If series. Like, what if this happened in Star Wars? Then a chain of events would happen to cause these things to happen. Well, they have made a new Lego, John, which looks awesome. It is called the Dark Millennium Falcon.
Okay.
It comes with characters like Darkseid Rey, a redeemed Darth Vader, an evil C-3PO, a, quote, beachy Luke Skywalker, a Darth Jar Jar Binks, and they're going to make him actually canon here by releasing this. They're going to make it actually canon here by releasing this Star Wars Lego, the Dark Millennium Falcon. The release date is expected to be in August. The price of this will be around 100 years. 1,578 pieces. And hell yeah, I would buy this.
What's canon mean? A general law, rule, principle, or criteria by which something is judged? A collection or list of sacred books accepted as genuine? What's canon? We've talked about it before, but I forgot.
Yeah, it means more towards the actual timeline of things, and
It
there's
means it's part of the story.
part of the story.
It happens exactly. It's
What's
not
not part of the story?
There could be something that's like a standalone.
There's not enough time for this.
There isn't.
We'll have an extra hour on this coming up. All right. If you missed anything
2020
today,
baseball season.
okay. If you missed anything today, sportslc.com, iHeartRadio app, iTunes, Radio, or Spotify. You can find us on social media at JONANDJIM. Join us tonight for a wrap-up show on YouTube. Jim, I'm John. Keep it here at San Diego Sports 760. Okay.